Strolling around Hamburg, and there seems nothing unusual about its public transport system. But if you know what you're looking for, you can catch a glimpse of the future. Quiet and non-polluting, with its signature puffs of water vapour, this is one of Hamburg's 6 hydrogen buses. It's all part of a pilot scheme started in 2006 to test whether hydrogen fuel cells could one day power an entire fleet of buses.
Hydrogen technology is still on the research and development stage. Nobody can say at this stage whether hydrogen technology will be the leading technology for vehicles in the future, because electric cars still have lots of issues with its batteries.
Built into the roof of the bus, hydrogen fuel cells work rather like a battery. The hydrogen gas combines with oxygen and is converted into water. In the process, it produces electricity, and it's this power that runs the bus's electric motor. Back at the depot, refuelling is pretty simple too, just like filling up your car. If it all seems too good to be true, then it might very well prove to be the case. The infrastructure and the hand-manufactured fuel cells are astronomically expensive. Hydrogen buses work out at 4 to 5 times more pricing than regular diesel buses. So, the main issue is commercial viability. The hope is that costs will fall when demand triggers a switch to mass industrial production. Of course, it is the economic chicken and egg scenario.
Of course, it's quite an expensive issue, the hydrogen buses. But we do see that we have a responsibility as a rather rich city overall to promote new technologies. And someone has to be the pioneer to do it first and see how it works.
Pure hydrogen has been used as an industrial gas for more than 100 years. But on its own, it is not a natural resource. It has to be manufactured.
The question is, where do you take the energy from to produce the hydrogen? And that's the key question to judge the overall environmental balance.
Hydrogen can be deceptively dirty. It's almost entirely produced using fossil fuels, oil, gas or coal. But not in Hamburg.
The hydrogen buses in Hamburg are actually running of hydrogen produced with renewable energy. So that's a good thing.
Hamburg's hydrogen is made by electrolysis or splitting water, H2O. The electricity needed is generated exclusively by wind power. Even if hydrogen production can be green, the critics still say fuel cells will always be energy losers because it takes up far too much energy to produce the hydrogen in the first place.
If I'm asked, do you like this because it's so green, it's just producing water, I cannot say yes, because if you look on the energy used for fueling these buses and for producing the hydrogen, it's 2 and 3 times more the energy. The whole pathway down is the cascade of losses.
I would personally say, why not using the electricity directly for the vehicle, and why produce hydrogen first and then burn the hydrogen in fuel cells in cars?
The answer to this question may lie in the limitations of lithium-ion batteries in large public vehicles.
If you have a look at batteries today, there are still some issues that have to be overcome. And one is for sure that the energy density you have in batteries compared to the weight is not sufficient that you can, for example, use only batteries and a bus and allow the bus to run for 2 shifts a day, like we do here in Hamburg. And so therefore you need what we call a range extender beside the battery. And therefore, maybe in the next generation of diesel hybrid buses, that could be a diesel generator, but later on, it definitely has to be hydrogen.
Hamburg is entering the second phase of its commitment to champion hydrogen technology. This current fleet will be grounded later this year, Next year, 10 shiny new hybrid buses will grace the Hamburg city centre, together with a state-of-the-art refuelling station. These will run primarily off a lithium battery, which will work in tandem with those hydrogen fuel cells. It's a nod to the future as it appears now, without fossil fuels.
If you think about the preparations you need in a public transport company, we have to prepare today for the time frame of, let's say, 2030. And none of us can be aware what the price of diesel in 2030 will be, and if there's any available at all.
As the wheels of the 21st century roll on, hydrogen fuel cells will play their part in revamping public transport around the world. Other cities may scoff at Hamburg's faith in a hydrogen economy so full of uncertainty, and yet, in its unrelenting way, technology will evolve. On these streets, they'll be riding the Hydrogen Express. Full steam ahead.